Cancel your plans, cancel everything. Tell your friends, tell everyone you can't see them. Cancel your TV shows, cancel your movies, because you're not going to watch movies anymore. Let me tell you that much. All you're going to be doing for the next couple of months is reading these books. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing happy, amazing and positive as always. Before I get started on today's video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like and comment on this video. It will help me out so much. Today I'm going to bring you guys some of my book recommendations for 2021-2022. If you guys are into thrillers, bit of romance, drama, mystery, adventure, thrilling, breathtaking plot twists, then you need to keep watching. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't always been the biggest reader, but once I picked up these books, I could not put these books down. All I would do is read these books. I never watched any movies or TV shows because I was so immersed into the book that no TV show or no movie would captivate me in the same way that these books would. Even about last year, I would hardly read any books because I had Instagram at the time and I would just use my spare time to go on Instagram, social media, that kind of thing, and tell myself I didn't have time for books. And now that I don't have Instagram, I just read. I love to read, and I would literally read till about 2 in the morning. I think the only negative thing that reading has brought me is it's messed up my sleeping pattern, because I'm telling you, once you start these books, you cannot put them down. As soon as a chapter ends, it's like, okay, just one more chapter, just one more chapter. And before you know it, it's 3:30 a.m. and you got to get up in the next few hours. These books, I guarantee you, will make you a book addict. I'm telling you right now, if you're not a person that reads, read one of these books and you will find yourself back at the bookshop buying more books. So the first one that I'm going to start with is the one that I just finished yesterday. So it's fresh in my mind, and that is called The Arrangement. This book is, oh my goodness, it has everything in it and more. It's about this young girl, or young woman I should say, in her early 20s, and she leaves her small town where nothing really goes on there, nothing really happens there, and she wants more from life. She's an art student, she's creative, and she moves to the most beautiful city, New York City. And if you've been to New York City, you would know that it's not cheap. It's quite expensive to live there, even to be a tourist there. It's not cheap. You need a good amount of money to live in New York City. So she has this job at a bar. She enjoys it, but you know, some things go down, which obviously I'm not going to get into because I don't want to give too many spoilers away. But some things go down and she needs to pay for her rent, and her housemates are like horrible. She has school to pay for. She has her groceries, you know, just everyday things that she needs to pay for. She has this friend that goes to school with her, and she has the most beautiful penthouse apartment in like a rich part of New York. This girl goes to this other girl's house and she's like, what the heck? How are you affording this penthouse and all the luxury brands you have and all the beautiful clothes you have, just so well put together? How do you afford this life in New York City? You're just an art student. So her friend actually lets her in on a little secret that she's actually a sugar babe. If you don't know what a sugar babe relationship is you get paid to go on dates and hang out with men who are older, who are really well off, really wealthy. Some of them can be married, some of them are single and just alone. Some people are going through like really bad marriages, so they need just a companion to spend time with. Whether that turns into like a sexual thing, that's up to the sugar babe, but you get paid to go out on dinners and to dress well, and they give you like a monthly allowance, or you get paid by the date. People get paid a lot. Like, people become rich from these types of relationships. This girl is like, yes, I'm gonna do this. So she meets this guy, a lot older guy, and he is like this handsome attorney, and I don't want to spoil too much, but her and her sugar daddy fall in love, and then, you know, things go down, like down, and there's just a whole load of turn of events that happen, and it takes you on this really like cool educational adventure, like learning about a sugar babe relationship and how it works. And it gives you like a thrilling feeling with the kind of sexy and sophisticated relationship this girl gets into with this guy, and it turns into, I don't know if I want to say like a psychotic story, but it turns into something that you just don't expect. There's like a massive plot twist that leaves you breathless. Let me just say that. If I was to use one word to describe this book, is it's exciting. It's one of those books where you just can't put it down. You just need to read one more chapter, one more chapter, one more chapter. The chapters aren't long either, so that's a good thing. I love when chapters aren't too long. It's actually quite an empowering book for females, and it shows you a way that how these kinds of relationships can really turn and become quite dangerous. And it's one of those stories that needs to be turned into a movie. This would be a great movie. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to be talking about is a book called The Strangers We Know by Pip Drysdale. This book is apparently turning into a Netflix series, but I'm not sure exactly when. So this book is about a woman who is an aspiring actress who is married to a really wealthy guy. It's the perfect relationship. It's kind of a relationship that you look at and think, this is like a perfect guy, you know, but it's too good to be true. And this relationship kind of starts unraveling some things when she's at a birthday party and she's with her friend who wants to start dating, and her friend's on the Tinder app, and as her friend is scrolling, she's sitting next to her and she sees her husband's profile come up. She's like, what? How is he on here? And the thing about her husband is that he's always away for work. So she's like, is he cheating on me? What's going on? So she kind of goes undercover. And what this brings is, oh my gosh, moments. That's all I'm going to say about this book. This book is full of thriller. It's full of mystery. It is full of adventure. It's action packed. I mean, not action in terms of like fighting and all that. It's not like that, but it's mysterious. It takes you through a mystery. It also leaves you feeling like you are alone with the character, that you're going through what she's going through and you're trying to put these pieces of information together. And it's like every chapter there's like a oh my God moment, like what the heck, no way. It's one of those books that you don't know who to trust, you don't know what's going on, you get captivated in this book. It does have a plot twist, a massive, massive plot twist in it that honestly, I didn't see it coming at all. Usually I can kind of pick what's happening, but with this book, I was left gobsmacked. It does have its sad moments as well, but the reason you get sad is not what you think. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay, so this next book is called Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This one is more of the crime, mystery, solving crime book. So if you want a full-on crime one, this is the book to get. This book is about a girl who actually solved a previous crime. She's literally a girl in high school. She's a teenager and she does this podcast about a previous crime that happened. It's actually another book. There's a whole nother book about the first crime that she solved, which I didn't know about, and I just bought the second book without knowing that there was a first book, but it's okay. You don't need it to know what's going on. So she does this podcast about this previous crime that occurred in her hometown, and she gets really famous off it. Like lots and lots and lots of people tuned in to that podcast. But then after that crime, she's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. She laid it to rest. That was it. Nothing was gonna come of it again until someone goes missing in her hometown. Then she puts on her FBI cap on again and she goes on another adventure. But at first she was kind of hesitant to go back on this podcast because it did take a toll on her from the previous crime. You know, solving crime is not easy, consumes a lot of your time and dedication. She was kind of hesitant, but then she is like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Because something happens to someone that she's actually friends with. So she's like, I need to find out what's happened. And the reason she starts investigating is because the police don't do anything about it. So she's like, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands and figure out what's happened. It's also another book that is highly addictive. It's kind of youthful as well because the main character is in high school, and the plot twist as well in this book, this plot twist is just immaculately done because you just don't expect it. It's so left field, and I love books like that. Okay, so this next book is called The Ex by Nicola Moriarty. I think that's her name. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's so funny because it's by an Australian author, and this book is set literally less than 10 minutes away from me. So all these places this person visits in this book is literally places that I've been to. So that really made it easy for me to imagine, you know, these places and stuff like that. I wasn't making up places in my head or envisioning places in my head. I actually knew what these places were. It was actually so crazy to have a book literally set 5-10 minutes away from me. You know, when I read a book, I want to get lost in the story. I want to be mentally in a place that I've never heard of or that I've never been to. But because this was 5 minutes away from me, I was kind of like, I don't know if this book is going to lose me, you know? I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be so immersed in the book because it's 5 minutes away from my house. I can literally just go to this place and be like, okay, cool, this is right here. There's not much going on in this area, but in this book, there's a lot going on. So it's about this girl who has this date set up. It's a blind date. She goes to meet him at a bar, but the Paul does not turn up. So she's there all by herself, really sad, really upset, and this guy notices that she's alone and, you know, she's been alone for a little bit of time. So he approaches her, and luckily for her, it was meant to happen because they end up together. It's a beautiful relationship. It's fun. He's so loving. He's caring, and soon they move in together. However, there is one problem and one thing that gets in the way, and that is his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend is like this obsessive girl, crazy girl who can't let go of this guy. And she finds herself in the middle of this whole thing, and she gets stalked, harassed by this ex-girlfriend. And, you know, at points she felt like her life was in danger. So this book really, really draws you in to that whole psycho ex-girlfriend story. It's very thrilling and it's very chilling as well. A real page turner, a real book that you just can't put down. Once you're in the middle of the book, forget sleep. You just need to know what's going to happen next. And this book kind of breaks your heart. It does. And I'm not going to say why, but it's kind of like, damn it, why? You know, it's that kind of feeling. There is obviously a plot twist, a huge plot twist. It's one of those plot twists that you just are like, there's no way. There's no way that this is happening right now. And it also leaves you a little confused. Not confused in the way that it's written, but with the story, you're like, huh? How does that add up with that? And then it all kind of comes together in the end. And it's like, minds will be blown. Okay, now my favorite out of these 5, my absolute favorite that I will definitely read again is called She by H.C. Warner. Oh my gosh, this book. Guys, if it's any book out of these 5 that you're gonna get this. Get this. Oh, I feel like if I say too much or if I say anything, it's gonna give it away. So I'm just going to keep it simple. So it's about this guy who falls in love with this gorgeous girl after going through a breakup. Like, she just walks into this bar and he's like captivated in her beauty, and everyone's like, whoa, who is this girl? She's just classy and beautiful. And they spark up a relationship, and their relationship moves really quickly. However, there's one thing that is the problem. He's in love with her, more like infatuation, I would say, but everyone around him does not like her. Everyone's like, there's something about this girl that is a little suspicious. But obviously this guy, he's in his own little world with her and he doesn't see it. Rose-colored glasses, just completely captivated by this woman. This book offers two perspectives. So it offers the girl's perspective as well as the guy's perspective. Usually I'm not a fan of that because I feel like it disrupts the flow of a story, but in this book you need the two perspectives. It's one of those books that is like, if you didn't have the other perspective, there would just be a real big gap in the story and a real big hole in the story. You'd kind of start getting a bit bored because you're so confused and there's holes in the story and you're like, what is happening? This author seriously knew what she was doing because she offered both the perspectives and it really gets into the mind of the characters and it really shows why what's happening is what's happening and why it's happening and how it's happening and all of these things. It has sad moments. You get angry in this book. You get so frustrated. It's one of those heart-wrenching books. Your heart is like broken and it breaks so many times throughout this book. One emotion that I really felt while reading this book was anger. I was so angry. And there was one night where I read this till like 4 in the morning because I couldn't get enough. And this was towards the end, the last few chapters. I just had to smash it through because I would not have been able to sleep if I put it down. This book is full of betrayal, full of lies, full of manipulation. It honestly offers such a good perspective on domestic violence, but it's in a way that you wouldn't expect. It's one of those books that is so gripping that it will forever be engraved in your brain. Like it will always be a memory. I could go on and on and on about this book, but I'll leave it there. Okay guys, so that was my 5 book recommendations. If you are not into books or reading, I would start with fiction books because I feel like if you're reading non-fictional, it can get a little boring if you're not into reading, unless you're into factual educational things. That's totally your preference. But if you want a story, if you want to get lost from your reality, I would reach for the fiction books. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this book recommendation video, guys. Please let me know if you purchase any of these books or if you've already read some of these books. I would love to know your thoughts, but don't give any spoilers away. No spoilers in the comments, please. Like I said, guys, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please stay happy, please stay amazing, please stay positive, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.